and gals aren't lucky. They worked really hard to build the profitability of this company. And actually, the company is spending more right now on security and scabs than they were on anything for these workers. They're actually spending more now than they would have had they worked out this strike 16 months ago.
How is it that you find yourselves on a strike for 2 years? What is wrong? What has got to change to make it so you guys can get a settlement? This is ridiculous. 2 years on the picket line?
We need Ontario to adapt anti-scab legislation like they have in BC and how they have it in Quebec. We need a government that cares, and they got to care for the people, and we don't see that in this province. You look at this same employer. Their collective agreement ran out in BC. They renegotiated with the union. They gave them a 6% increase over 4 years, and yet here they want a 25% rollback. What's the difference? The difference is in BC they have anti-scab legislation. In Ontario we don't, and we need it.
So what would it take to get the same legislation here in Ontario that they have in British Columbia, in your opinion?
We need to get the NDP elected in this province once and for all, and to get people mobile enough to say enough is enough and kick the Liberals out and keep the Conservatives away and get the NDP in.
What kind of hardships have the workers gone through as a result of being on strike for 2 years? It's got to be really bad. There must be some terrible stories here.
We've had members lose their houses. We've had members being kicked out of their apartments. We've also had members have to give up their vehicles because they've been repossessed, because you can't live on $225 a week. It's impossible.
And how do you answer people that have written in response to articles in the paper saying that you guys should be thankful that you have a job and that other people don't have a job and that you guys have it good and that you should just accept the concessions that the company put on the table? How would you answer that?
I would answer that. Put yourself in our position that if you were making $20 an hour and your employer come to you and said take 25% away, now you're making $15, how would you feel?
I wouldn't feel very good at all.
There you go. We're out here because of sisters like Linda, who's now on a pension. She can actually still breathe and buy things on her pension, which the company wants to take away from us. And it's sisters like that we look at, and we look for guidance, and we look for support, and this is why we're out. It's got nothing to do with anything else except for the future. This was a viable company. This company that bought us 6 years ago. They outbid 8 other companies to buy us. If it was that bad of a company, why would they outbid 8 other companies to take it over?
And what would you say to young people that are watching this video to think about their prospects for the future for employment? Whether they should get involved in manufacturing or look somewhere else for a job? Maybe they should look at the service industry? Like, what should they do?
The service industry cannot keep this country going. You need manufacturing. You have to have manufacturing. And you can't work at minimum wage, because minimum wage does not buy a house, does not buy a new car, does not even pay for a used car. Minimum wage, all you're doing is paying the necessities from life. You're paying rent, you're paying for groceries. That's all you can afford. You can't afford anything else.
So then I would sum that up as this fight is a lot more about everyone, not just yourselves. Everyone has a stake in this and how it turns out, because if they break you, they'll break everyone.
Absolutely. This fight is for everyone. It's for the ones that make the $10.25 an hour. It's the ones that make the $20 an hour. It's not the race to the bottom. It's got to be the race to the top.
And we don't want to see our standard of living eroded and have it driven to the lowest common denominator. So that's why we support your strike, and that's why we encourage you to stay strong, and we applaud you for your solidarity, and we will push to get legislation changed so that you guys can get a fair settlement and get back to work. And that's what you really want to do.
One day longer. One day longer.
And I think a lot of people are getting pretty frustrated with the greed, profitable companies like this one stepping on their workers. They're workers in this community who pay taxes, who have families, who actually make this community better. I think it needs to stop, and I think all these people who showed up today understand that.